The planet was plunged into anarchy. According to police reports, the infected were behind all the unrest. Even after 2 months, the epidemic could not be contained. The infection spread to every corner of the planet. As a result, the authorities came to the conclusion that the infected must be eliminated. One family hurriedly packs their belongings, but at the very threshold, they are attacked by a living dead man. Fortunately, their cries are heard by police officer Cassius, who rescues Abigail. A decade has passed. The cityscape is overgrown with thick vegetation, and Abigail herself has grown noticeably older. Cassius taught the girl how to use weapons so that she could accompany him on hunting trips. Every night, Cassius activated the alarm system to protect against unexpected visitors. It was his foresight that allowed them to hear an unfamiliar sound. It turned out to be a swift infected. As a rule, they do not travel alone, which indicated the proximity of a horde of at least 36 creatures. It was necessary to leave this place urgently. At dawn the next day, the duo heard the sound of a gunshot. When they reached the place where the noise came from, they found a car. Looters were robbing some travelers, completely unaware of the infected approaching them from behind. Our heroes eliminate the danger and head to the car to inspect it. Suddenly, the radio comes to life. A voice from the speaker asks for their location. Cassius realizes that the situation is heating up. They need to grab all their valuables and hide immediately. However, it is too late. The looters have already arrived. Cassius is forced to lower his gun. The gang leader declares that they cannot tolerate thieves, and since they have attempted to steal their loot, they will be treated the same way. Cassius and Abigail disarm several raiders, prompting Megan to leave the car in an attempt to resolve the conflict. Noticing that the woman is pregnant, Abigail warns of hordes of infected wandering nearby. The noise they make only draws the creatures closer. The living dead began to appear from everywhere. Cassius distributes weapons, giving them a chance to survive. But there are too many enemies, and ammunition is running out. The duo engages in hand-to-hand combat, protecting each other. The number of marauders rapidly decreased. One of the girls attempted to set fire to the incendiary mixture, but awkwardly dropped it, causing the car to break down. All of the raiders were dead, but Cassius and Abigail couldn't leave the family in trouble and helped them escape. Once in the car, Abigail counted the remaining bullets. Almost the entire arsenal was depleted. Megan shares that they were headed for a settlement by the river. The malfunctioning vehicle ruins all their plans. Cassius does not lose hope for repairs, but David is convinced of their futility. The radiator is damaged, and they do not have the necessary parts for replacement. David takes out a communication device to contact the colony later and inform them of their imminent arrival. It was impossible to travel without stopping, so they decided to take a break in the city. By that time, all the dead marauders had already turned and joined the horde of infected. Abigail shows a keen interest in the colony they are heading for. Megan claims that they have managed to contact them several times. There are medics in the settlement, and it has already withstood several attacks by the infected. The colony's population exceeds 100 people. Cassius is not eager to head to this settlement, but he suggests a more secure route. Cassius's main goal is to leave this area as soon as possible, before the horde catches up with them. Cassius's premonitions prove correct. The horde is hot on their heels and has already discovered their abandoned car. As a new day dawns, Abigail spots their pursuers. However, thanks to traps set in advance, the group has a head start for their retreat. Abigail recognizes the area. There is an airport nearby. Perhaps there is a plane there. Cassius tries to explain that there is only one road leading to the airport. If they are surrounded there, they will not escape. However, his arguments are ignored, and everyone decides to go to the airport. Once there, the group discovers an undamaged plane. Since David is an engineer by profession, he had to get the plane working, but they had no time at all. The crowd of zombies had already arrived. David starts the propellers, and the engine begins to run. And even though none of them had any piloting skills, this did not prevent them from taking off, while the leader of the infected watched longingly as his prey slipped away. Their jubilation was short-lived, as the engine failed. But even so, none of them lost their lives, getting away with only minor abrasions. Cassius proposes a new plan of action. If they follow it, they will reach the colony in 2 days. David, like a rat in a corner, keeps quiet about being bitten. He doesn't even have the strength to pull the trigger. The next day, his condition worsens. Cassius instantly realizes what is happening and examines the man. But instead of killing him, he gives him the right to decide for himself how he will meet his death. Late at night, the group stumbles upon a house covered with cameras and lighting equipment. A man lives inside. He allows them to enter, but on one condition: they must leave all their weapons behind. Cassius expresses surprise at the presence of electricity here. The man explains that it is necessary for his research and then offers them a snack. Cassius signals to Abigail not to try anything. However, when they are offered refreshing drinks, no one can refuse such a treat. The man begins to philosophize about the nature of the end of the world. He is convinced that it is just a new stage of evolutionary development in which only the fittest will survive. As for a cure, there is none. Once the virus enters the body, everything is predetermined. When the trio lost consciousness, David was still conscious. For such a case, the owner of the house had a glove of his own design that allowed him to control the infected. Everyone woke up in the laboratory. The man is extremely curious about David's ability to resist the ordinary infected. To protect his wife, he literally breaks his shackles and throws off the zombies. But to prevent him from freeing the others, the man uses his device on him. David overcomes the pain and frees his comrades. They lock the basement door and steal a car. Before they could drive into the forest, they encountered a horde. Their leader was not so simple and dodged the car. The squad hoped to get away from them, but a fallen tree blocked their path. David begs the squad to save themselves. He is going to delay the monsters, but they no longer pay attention to him. He has to attack them himself. He even manages to eliminate several infected ones before the leader breaks his neck. Somehow, the trio still manages to reach the settlement. The local guards spot the horde and destroy several monsters. The leader realizes that further pursuit is too risky and stops his horde. The head of the colony, George, meets the survivors. They believed that apart from the mad scientist, there was no one else left in the area, and they allow them to join their community. Extra hands are always welcome. The local boys have already started eyeing Abigail, which makes Cassius consider leaving. Staying here is too risky. They have no idea who these people are. The local doctor helped Megan give birth, but her condition deteriorated rapidly. She realizes that she will not survive and begs Cassius to take care of the child. He promises to protect him. Abigail has spent most of her life in the woods, away from society, so she watches the life of the settlement with curiosity. In addition, a party was planned for the evening. During a break between dances, Abigail wandered into the hold and saw the remote control there. She was about to press the button, but a guy stopped her. If he hadn't arrived in time, the entire settlement would have been blown up. It was a precautionary measure in case the settlement was captured by zombies. The scientist wasted no time and subjugated the entire horde. He ordered them to swim underwater and attack the guards unnoticed. The first soldiers were destroyed almost instantly, and when the infected were finally discovered, it was too late. The horde was already rampaging through the settlement, devouring everyone in its path. In case of such an event, tunnels had been laid under the barges for retreat. In the commotion, Cassius encountered the scientist. He had already guessed that the glove controlled the zombies. After cutting a few wires, he helps the scientist make the transition to a new stage of evolution. And Abigail discovers the terrifying truth. The leader of the horde is her father. But when he lunges at Cassius, she saves him without hesitation. That's where the movie ends.